Hi there, this is Kevin Lewis, the director of Willy's Wonderland, and you are listening to the Horror Squad podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Horror Squad podcast, episode number 244. Tonight, we are going to be talking about Steve's birthday pick. So, happy birthday to Steve. We are going to be talking about 1999's End of Days, starring our man, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Steve, happy birthday, man. How
Thank
you doing?
I'm feeling old, Joe. I'm feeling old. I am now 40 fucking years old and feeling every bit of it. The big 40. So that's a tough one. That's a tough one to swallow. Whenever you change decade, it's like you feel that age. But I guess 40 is like, I don't know, it doesn't feel as old as it used to, I think. When I was a kid, I feel like 40 was old, but now
Right.
people still do stuff at 40, so it's not that bad yet. But yeah, it's always tough to change that decade. But I'm super happy to be doing an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. He is my favorite actor of all time. It's the actor that my dad and I used to like really bond over watching movies in the like late 80s and 90s and stuff. So when I thought something special for my 40th birthday, I mulled a few around, but I think I decided to do something with my favorite actor. Not necessarily one of my favorite films, but he hasn't done a ton of horror, and it's definitely better than Maggie. So I think this this was a good pick for me, and it's something I've been meaning to review at some point. It's I got good memories of it.
Yeah, I'm excited you picked it too because I literally haven't seen it since theaters. Like I think
wow.
I remember going to see it in theaters when I was 12. Literally, I was 12 years old at the time.
Wow, they let you see this when you were 12?
Yeah, I would say back in the day, like they didn't give a shit. Like if you were under 18 going to see like R-rated movies. Like I remember they didn't start really like checking like until I remember I went and saw Jason X. That's like the only movie I ever got shut out of. I had to go see The Mummy. The Scorpion King. I had to go see The Scorpion King instead because they wouldn't let us into Jason X. But they didn't. Yeah, American cinemas really didn't seem to give a shit when I was younger about going to see movies like this. So I was very excited to revisit it because it's been obviously forever. I have fond memories actually of the soundtrack because I remember owning the soundtrack when I was a kid too. Like, and I used to play it on my Sony Walkman going on the bus stop to school all the time. So I was excited to revisit it too. I should also mention Todd is going to be joining us tonight. So for you Todd super fans out there, he will be joining us within I would say within the next 20 minutes or so. But while we wait, I guess let's get into Steve's birthday questions this week.
But before we do that, there's also something super exciting about today. I don't know if you know this. You and I are currently at Halloween Horror Nights.
That's right.
So the day that this episode releases, we're attending Halloween Horror Nights. It'll be our second night. So I'm pretty excited about it. It's obviously we're recording this early. I'm just, really thrilled that we're finally getting to do that together. And I'm sure we're having a ton of fun,
definitely
going into the fog and enjoying all that stuff. So once this episode releases, the one after, we're going to have a lot of stories to tell, I'm sure. And it'll be a fun one for sure.
Absolutely. So let's see. I told all of our listeners, don't let Steve down this week. Don't let the Canadians weep. And hopefully you sent some good questions. So let's hear them.
Yeah, well, you can ask us those questions on social media at the Horror Squad podcast or on our Discord, which is where pretty much everyone sent their questions. But the first series of questions come to us from a very special guest. This is actually a first-time voice on the show, and this is really a special one. We're not going to get to do this again, so I'm happy we got it done in time for this really special episode. These questions come from Arnold Schwarzenegger himself. Now, I promise you, this is not Chuck pretending to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is absolutely Arnold Schwarzenegger. So, Arnold, what is your first question?
Hello there, Horror Squad podcast. It's me, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You may remember me from such amazing films as The Terminator, Predator, Kindergarten Cop, and The Terminator. Well, I heard that your little podcast show was reviewing a movie I made in 1999 called End of Days. Well, I'm going to give you a pleasure of having a few questions asked by me, Mr. Universe. First question. Which of my movies do you quote the most?
Oh man, that's a good question. And Chuck, that was, I mean, well, I'm sorry, Arnold. Thank
No,
you
I
so
was
much,
gonna
Arnold,
say
for
Chuck.
sending the
No, Chuck's
question.
didn't send
Yeah.
questions, man. He failed us this week. But Arnold,
Yeah.
pulling out this week.
Yep. Oh man, he has so many quotable movies. I revert back to Kindergarten Cop. I think because like I grew up with like that movie. It was like my childhood. So and there's just so many iconic lines from that movie. So yeah, Kindergarten Cop for me.
Yeah, it's gotta be. It's between Kindergarten Cop and as crazy as it sounds, Batman and Robin. His lines are so bad in Batman and Robin that I just end up finding a reason to quote them all the time. Anyone who listens to my other podcasts, the Let's XP Geek and Gaming podcast, know I always try to fit in a Batman and Robin Mr. Freeze quote in there somewhere. So yeah, but Kindergarten Cop, man, there's so many great lines in that movie. It's so quotable and it's so funny. Like it's such a funny movie. Yeah, and around the Christmas time, Jingle All the Way rears its head as well. So that's another very quotable movie. He's a quotable guy, because his delivery can make just a normal line sound hilarious and quotable. I mean, there's a few in this movie, which I'll talk about during the review, that are pretty good. So yeah, Arnold's the best, man. What's your favorite line from Kindergarten Cop?
Oh man. Jeez. I like when the guy's like, "Man, who the fuck are you?" and he just blows the couch away and he's like, "I'm the potty." That's definitely a favorite.
Yeah, I actually, from the very same scene, I think my favorite is when he sits down and he says, "I love you, Cindy.
Yeah.
I will be with you nights, days, weekends, holidays. I will be with you until the end of time." He's awesome. He's such a great movie. All right, Arnold, what's your second question?
I know I've given up acting, but do you wish that I would have done a little more horror?
Yeah, of course. I mean, being a horror fan, I'd love to see. I would have loved to seen Arnold, but I mean, let's be honest. Arnold's an action star, and even like I honestly like this movie definitely has like a good amount of action, and I would say Maggie was really the only like movie of his I can even think of where like there wasn't much action in it at all. So yeah, I mean he does his thing. I don't think it was necessary, but sure, I would have liked to have seen Arnold in like a slasher movie or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. Like that's he's the action guy. He's the poster child of action movies. So it's good that he stayed in his lane a lot. He does do a few surprise movies here and there. I watched one. I don't remember the name of it right now. Last year, where it was like he played like a really dramatic character. I think it might have been Aftermath, where he like lost his daughter in a plane accident, and then tries to go after the people who caused it. And it's just, and you'd think he'd go in a way that it's like a revenge tale and all that stuff, but it's actually a really like toned down emotional movie, which was weird, to see Arnold do that in. But certainly I would love to see him do, we can have action horror. There's been rumors of him doing a zombie film for a long time. I don't know if that's something that's actually happening or just rumors, but I could totally see Arnold just blasting zombies away and having fun with it. But he's getting up there too, so not a ton of years left for him to do stuff like that. But yeah, for sure, I would love to see more of it. And Arnold, what is your final question?
Last question, and then you can go. Who is your daddy, and what does he do? Now, get to the chopper. Come on, do it. What are you waiting for?
That's a classic line as well from Kindergarten
Another
Cop.
Kindergarten Cop. Yeah.
Does he really want to know who my daddy is?
I guess so. if you can tell, unless he's like some kind of super spy and you don't want to talk about it.
No. Me and my dad have the same. We share the same name, so there's a little fun tidbit for you guys. And he's a store manager at a supermarket. So there you go.
Very nice. My dad is currently retired. Very happy for him to have finally gotten to that age, but he used to be a distribution manager for a large company. But I've huge kudos for my dad. When I grew up, we grew up in like poverty. We had no money. We had a tiny apartment, almost no toys. He had a rough upbringing, a military family, moved every 2 years. Dad always gone doing military stuff, and mom raising 4 children and stuff like that. And he took us out of poverty. He started his own company with nothing. built it to a point where he got to sell it for a lot of money, and then we had a pretty comfortable like late teen life to early adulthood life. So definitely mad respect for my dad, and a role model for me for sure. And also the guy who got me into horror, so that's always a good thing. And who got me into Arnold, so I guess it works perfectly for this episode. Very happy for him.
Yeah, awesome. There he is.
Hello.
You just missed it, Todd.
What happened? What did I miss?
We got a very special guest send a question this week.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger. All right, so on to our written questions. So this one actually came to us last week, but we the question came in right after we had recorded. So it comes from Patty. Who's your favorite final girl or boy from the 1980s?
I guess.
1980s.
I mean, I mean, ooh, that's tough actually. I was
It
gonna.
was tough.
I'll go Heather Langenkamp, since like Nightmare was my favorite franchise pretty much of the 80s. So I'll go her, just because I can't think of anyone else right now. I was gonna say Sigourney, but she's more. She's
She
like
wasn't really a
70
final girl in Aliens, right?
No,
she was
not
an
really,
alien,
right,
but
yeah.
not an Alien.
Right.
So.
She was the
Exactly,
final
yeah.
boss in Aliens, dude.
Yeah.
For the queen. Final girl. Man, I'm drawing a huge blank right now.
You give it to Jamie Lee. I mean, she's she's 70s and 80s really in a lot of
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah, but for which movie in the 80s? That's Halloween 2?
Terror Train.
Right, Terror
And
Train.
Halloween 2.
Yeah. I'm going to pass on this one because I can't really think of any.
Come on, how about a final boy?
Final boy?
Yeah. Like,
Can you
that's
name-
you a Nightmare 2 fan?
I am a Nightmare 2 fan.
That
That's a
dude
good
from
one.
The Lost Boys.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
forget his name.
Jason Patrick.
Yeah, Jason Patrick. I forget what his character name is though.
Michael.
Michael.
Come on, you can't. Keith Sutherland, the whole movie is Michael.
Oh, can I? This just reminded me of something. Have either of you guys met Corey Feldman?
No.
Okay, well, I was told, because I was thinking about going to meet him because he's doing a signing around here in December, but I was told he doesn't autograph his name. He just does a peace sign for his autograph. And I'm like, are you fucking
Lame.
serious? And this came from Missy, because she was talking when I was talking to her at Silver Scream a few weeks ago, and she was like, yeah, someone told me he just does a peace sign for his autograph, and he won't even put his character name, nothing. He just does a peace sign. I was like, well, fuck that. I ain't fucking paying $80 for a peace sign.
I'm about to sign a bunch of 8x10s by him with peace signs and sell them.
There you go. Yeah.
But speaking of him real quick, I'll go with him from Friday Part 4 because he's badass as Tommy in that
There
one.
you go. Yeah.
Or, Tom Matthews from
Return.
Friday Part 6. He's
Oh,
not
yeah,
really
that one too.
a final guy in that one because he's a zombie. But
No,
yeah,
he's
Part 6
not.
is great.
Yeah.
So just to go on the autograph thing, so I have a friend of mine who he met him, and it was the last autograph he needed on his Lost Boys poster, and he did sign his name, but he signed it over someone else's name, and then when he realized his mistake, crossed it out and then signed it somewhere else.
Wow, what a piece of shit.
Yeah, I don't remember whose
Sucks.
autograph he signed over, but he was so fucking furious because that's like his movie and everything. He's so proud of that poster. I mean, I could get it. Can you imagine like one of
That's
your
brutal.
prize posters
Yeah.
and they fucking sign over someone else? And
It'd be like them signing over Romero's on my
Right.
Dawn. They'd be like,
exactly.
No,
Right.
no.
Yeah.
Speaking of, oh, go ahead. Sorry, Steve.
I was gonna say, having just gone through 2 posters being autographed multiple times over the last, few weeks there, I was so careful at like pointing out where I wanted the autograph to go, just so that they don't sign over something or, don't have enough space or whatever. Or, yeah, it's kind of tricky.
Do you guys have any worst autographs in your collection along those
Ooh,
lines?
that's a great question. Yeah, some celebrities don't have the best signatures.
I have one way you guys are thinking.
Yeah.
Giuseppe Andrews from Cabin Fever, the cop.
Yeah, he's missing, like no one knows where the fuck he is.
Really?
Yeah, he's like
Interesting.
gone. I think he's gone into complete like isolation. Hasn't
he
been
is-
heard from in like
He's
4
an
or
odd
5 years.
fellow. He was doing
Yeah.
like low budget movies with like the homeless population in LA. So I think he's just a different kind of soul. But
Mm.
anyway, Cabin Fever, I met the cast and he signed his 8x10. It was a bust shot, he's in a suit or whatever. And he signed it putting boobs under his chest and did a squiggly, and that was it. I'm like, thanks. Well, that was bad. I gotta find it, see if I
Yeah.
still have it somewhere.
This isn't like his signature was fine, but like Richard, when I met Richard Dreyfuss, like I asked him to like put a quote or something like that, and he like signed it, and he's like, "Oh shit, I forgot to put something," so he just put Joe, hi, and that was it. I was like, "Okay, thanks."
That was from the movie though.
Yeah, right.
Joe,
Um,
hi.
Yeah, there's definitely some terrible signatures out there, but the one that sticks out to me is that when I started my Walking Dead poster, I knew it would be like the poster that I would kind of get the whole cast to sign like throughout the years, you know? So I was really psyched to kind of start it. And the con I went to had like 4 people from The Walking Dead for the first one. And the first person I got was the girl who played Lori, Sarah Wayne Callies. Super nice person. And it's not her fault, but her signature takes it like 1/8 of the poster. She like made it super big. I guess she just thought the poster would just be like just for her, you know? So now I have all these like tiny signatures of like these huge cast members, and hers is a fucking giant chunk of my poster. So yeah, that's probably the one that comes to mind.
Does
That just
Lincoln
happened-
do cons?
No, very rarely. Like he does
Yeah.
sometimes like the main one in Georgia there in Atlanta.
Walker
But
Stalker.
I've been saving a spot for him and telling people not to sign there for like 6 years now, you know. So hopefully, you know, that's like my number one guy. I want his autograph, who's still alive. So yeah,
Yeah, I bet later in life, like once they like kind of
that's what I'm hoping.
or whatever, and kind of start being like, oh, let me just go do this for fun type thing or something, or for a little extra dough. So I had a similar incident just 2 weeks ago, Steve, with the poster I'm starting. James Jude Courtney, he fucking signed like fucking like massive. Although he does have a beautiful signature, I will say. As well, know who else has a beautiful signature is Doug Bradley. That dude's signature is really, really nice.
Yeah, you know who doesn't have a beautiful signature? Daniel Harris. I have her autograph, and it's just a gigantic squiggle, just like crazy. The whole autograph is taken. It's like it's ridiculous how much she covered of the print that I have her signature on. So
Bruce Campbell's pretty
Yeah.
bad too.
Yeah,
He has a
Just like a
squiggle and
squiggle.
ash.
Yeah.
That's it.
right. Yep. Christina Ricci's isn't great either. She just signs it like CR. Like
Lame.
so.
yeah, a few
so
people do
warning.
that. Finn
Yeah.
Wolfhard, who I saw, I didn't meet him, but at Fan Expo just signs like basically a little W squiggle, you know. So some of
Yeah.
them really have shitty autographs.
How does some of these kids fucking know how to sign? Especially like
Well, he's like
young
20
Princess
something.
Leia. I know, I'm saying
Yeah.
like young Princess Leia is like 7.
Yeah, she has a great autograph. I have it.
She's autographing.
not like young. I have young Ray, but the girl who
Okay.
played in The Walking Dead there, the kid.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she actually has a really great autograph, and probably because she takes her time. But a lot of people, it's just they don't
Right.
care, right? So
Mhm.
it is what it is. But like at a con, that sucks. I get it if you're in the street and there's a ton of people waving papers in front of you, but when you're at your table and someone gives you $100 and you just fucking sign a W, that sucks. Yeah.
Mm.
All right. So, and to answer the question, I actually agree with Joe. I think Heather Langenkamp's character Nancy is probably my favorite final girl of the 80s, because a lot of them are actually in the 70s and 90s that are my favorite. So next question is from Marla, Creature Feature. Something that hasn't been asked in a while. What's the food pairing? Coffee, Pepto-Bismol, beer, Chinese, 4 pizza smoothie?
Oh,
That's gross, bro.
I forgot about that scene until just now. Jeez.
Food pairing with this, I think you go with a Chinese takeout and you leave it in the little bins and you just snack from each one. I think that would pair perfectly with Arnold's like kind of life at that moment.
I would go like whatever the hottest like hot sauce you can find is, like Satan's blood. There's like a wing sauce called Satan's blood, so I'll go with chicken wings with some Satan's blood poured on top of it.
Yeah, go through like the hot ones, rack
Yeah,
while you're
exactly.
watching this. But I like Todd's answer too. That like totally fits, and I love doing that. I love ordering like just a ton of different Chinese foods, and they also make great leftovers. So yeah, good answer there. Next question from Michelle. So Mishu, let's get your Arnold movie rankings. There are a lot, so maybe a top 5.
There are, but there are not a lot of top Arnold. You know, he definitely drops just like all the rest of them do too. When I was looking at the
Mhm.
list, anyone got theirs
Yeah,
handy?
yeah, I do. I will say, yeah, like he hasn't really done anything great recently. Like going through his IMDb for this list. But yeah, I'll throw my top 5 out here right now. All right, number 5, I will go Kindergarten Cop. At number 4, I'm gonna go True Lies. Number 3, I'm gonna go Predator. Number 2, The Terminator, and number 1, T2, Judgment Day.
At number 5, I have Kindergarten Cop. Number 4, I have Predator. Number 3, Terminator 2. Number 2, Total Recall. And number 1, True Lies.
Very nice. While Todd's looking for his list, I'll throw in an honorable mention. I really wanted to put this on my list, but Last Action Hero. It's
It's funny, that's
think
why
it's
I
more
wrote
like
you.
nostalgia, but yeah,
It's really
definitely more
clever. Like,
nostalgia for me. Yeah.
it's a very clever movie. You know, it's like
Mhm.
I talked about on the other podcast I do. It's a nice like way of kind of encapsulating his career, because it's like
Mhm.
joking about, you know, action movies. And I kind of wish that he does one like now, kind of encapsulating what horror movies have become. Not horror, what action movies have become since that
Mhm.
movie. You know, because
yeah.
action heroes don't look like the way they used to. They don't act like the way they used to. So it'd be funny if he came back into the world and saw that action has like completely changed since his day, and kind of make fun of it as one of his final films. You know, it's like,
Mhm.
wow, action has gone a long way since, you know, the muscle bound.
Yeah, now they're all skinny
Of
dudes.
the 80s. Yeah, exactly. It's all skinny dudes and long hair and like big beards.
All right, number 5, The Running Man. 4, Total Recall. 3, True Lies. 2, Predator. And number 1, Terminator 2.
Very nice. No jingle all the way, huh, guys? Come on.
It's not
Oh,
that good of a
God.
film.
You're my favorite customer.
Yeah. I'll be there. I promise.
So many felonies committed in that movie.
Yep. Oh man. All right. Next question comes to us from Cody. Odd Job versus 007. So if you guys could cast the Expendables of horror, who are you casting? Are they playing their famous horror characters or just cameos? And let's not talk about Death House.
Yeah, let's not.
You've seen it
I
too,
mean,
Steve, or is it
yeah.
just Joe seen Death
Oh,
House?
I've definitely seen it.
Yeah.
And I wish I
Yeah.
hadn't too.
It's fucking terrible, man. Terrible. I went to the premiere at.
I'm right. You were interviewed
Con.
from it.
Yeah, I was interviewed. Everyone else was like raved about it, and I was the only one who was like,
You're like, well.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because the dude who directed it is a partner in the Dork.
Yeah, he
With
is
us.
part of our network. Yeah. I
Yeah.
know.
But he did do the special, so he redeemed
He did.
himself
Nice.
after
He
Death
did.
House.
Absolutely. He got a new movie that just came out too. Some like Halloween movie. I forget the name of it, but
Cool.
it just came out recently. All right. So now I forget the question. Oh, Expendables of horror. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta go with the slasher classics, right? Like England, Bradley, like Nick Castle, Kane Hodder. Like, just throw them all in. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, right?
Dude,
And
yeah,
I would
do
have
everybody.
them. Yeah, and like if you're gonna do it as Expendables, it would have to be like, I guess, like them, like as themselves, right? I gotta forget actually how the Expendables went. They were different. They weren't themselves. Right?
No, they weren't themselves.
Yeah. All
They
right.
made
Well, yeah.
they made
I
fun
mean,
of them, of the characters in
Right,
like
okay.
funny ways, but they weren't actually those characters.
Okay, so all right, yeah. I guess they'd play their characters then. I mean, that'd be awesome. They can all team up and fucking, I don't know, go on a killing spree, or maybe they would team up for like the good of the world type thing, where like they have to like team together with like I don't know, like the Avengers to save the world.
All right, here's my pitch. HorrorCon, Psycho Fans, Slasher. And they play themselves. You got Heather Langenkamp. You got everybody, dude, just out there. And the actors start getting killed off by this psycho fan, and then they band together at some point.
Yeah, I was thinking along the same lines, where they're at a con, but they're all in like their character costumes doing photo ops, and so they're not actually the characters, but they're playing the characters. So you have Tony Todd dressed as Candyman, you have Kane Hodder as Jason, and Robert Englund as Freddy. And because the fans are getting crazy or there's something going on, they band together and just start using their action skills and their acting skills to kill some people and get revenge.
Love
I
it.
don't know why this just
Todd,
popped to my mind. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that con thing reminded me of that script we like started on about with there was like a guy obsessed with me at a horror convention. He
Yeah.
was watching my YouTube videos jerking off and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
that
And
that
then,
was
like,
actually a
he
pretty
stalked
cool
me at a
concept.
con. It
Yeah.
was.
I gotta dig that up. It's somewhere. Um, but no, I was researching stuff today and popped in my mind because you're talking about like actors being in costume and stuff, and their costumes are usually pretty shitty for photo ops, like Chop Top and all that. But I guess they shot a direct sequel to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, starring Bill Moseley, and it was directed by Toby Hooper's brother or maybe son, something in the Hooper family. And it was called American Massacre, and it's unreleased but shot. And like, there's interviews for it, there's a trailer for it. American Massacre on YouTube, you can look it up. But I'm like, man, I really want to see it. It's a sequel to that, but I think legal trouble, obviously, because they didn't get like permission from whoever owns TCM. But I don't know, that popped in my mind. There's really cool stuff online for it.
Yeah, very cool. Have you ever met? So I've never actually met any of these actors in a photo op, like in their costume. I've always only seen the actors kind of being themselves. I know Joe has, because I've seen a ton of pictures of him. In fact, a classic one from the last con he went to with Dave Sheridan was fucking amazing picture. I hope he blows that up and puts it like over his bed. I'm sure Sam would love that. What about you, Todd? Have you seen any of the actors like actually dressed up as their famous character?
Yeah, I did Steve Dash from Friday 2 and what's his name from Part 6, Jason. They were both in photo op together. It was really cool, but it's like you can tell they don't know where they're at because it's like their masks are covered and everything, so they're just like standing one spot posing. But it was pretty fun.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I even met Cassandra Peterson, not even Elvira. So I'm hoping one day to meet at least one character who is like, although the Sons of Anarchy people I met at Fan Expo dressed basically exactly like they did in the show. They're just the same people essentially, just without their vest. It was pretty crazy. All right, next question is from Kayla. She says, in a previous episode, I believe Joe brought up horror Mount Rushmore with Freddy, Chucky, Jason, etc. So who's your Mount Rushmore, but you can't use top guys like Freddy, Jason, Leatherface. So you have to use kind of lesser known horror actors or characters.
Let's go Captain Spaulding. It's a good one. Let's go Chop Top. Or you can swap them out with Otis Driftwood if you're more of a Corpses fan. What else? Bub from Day of the Dead. And a Queen Alien from Aliens.
Nice. So the Queen from Aliens.
Yep.
She's awesome.
I'll go with the Killer Clown. Take your pick, Shorty or Jumbo or whoever. I will go Pumpkinhead. And then Candyman's too big, right? He's kind of more the
He's
main
like
ones.
borderline, right?
Yeah.
Like not a lot of people
Okay.
outside of horror consider him, so I think he'd be eligible.
Okay, pretty mainstream. All right, then let's go. I'm just looking around my room right now. I'll go with Puppet Master. Pick a Puppet Master. Let's go. You got to go Blade. I would
Blade.
think,
You gotta go Blade.
Yeah, he's the most iconic of the batch. So,
It's a
and
good
then
pick.
finally, let's go something more current, and throw Annabelle on there.
Oh,
Nice.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Leprechaun. I don't think he gets a
great
ton
choice.
of
Yeah.
love. I'm gonna go The Nun because I'm a huge fan of hers. Reagan is probably too big. I
Yeah,
think
too main, I'd say,
yeah,
yeah.
too mainstream. Who else would I go? I guess maybe try to look into the future and Art the Clown, give him a spot on there. Hopefully that he'll become bigger. And that fourth spot, that's a tough one. Trying to think of someone really outside the box, but not sure. Like it's
A ghoulie or a critter?
Yeah, possible.
Yeah.
What about Sam? Too mainstream?
You know what?
probably?
I'll do Toxic Avenger. He's he's making a comeback this year, so hopefully it's a big comeback, and I'm looking forward to it personally. Or is it still this year? I haven't heard a fucking word about it since.
I don't think
so.
this year. I haven't.
I should have asked. I should have asked. It's Lloyd Cops is not involved anymore, though, right? That would've been-
I think. Yeah, they sold the rights, but I'm sure he has something to do with it. Somehow.
Isn't Elijah Wood like somehow involved?
Yeah, Peter Dinklage. Like it's like a
Oh,
pretty big
I
cast.
should
And,
ask Elijah Wood.
Jake-
That's what I would.
Yeah, Jacob Tremblay, I believe, is in it too.
Okay, well,
Quite a
that would be my obscure lineup there, and that is all the questions we got this week. So thank you very much, everyone, for the questions. And now a word from our friend Omri.
It's me, Omri Katz, aka Max from Hocus Pocus. Just here to let you know I'm going to be in Salem, Massachusetts on October 22nd at the Silver Moon Comic Store starting at 1 p.m. I'm going to be signing some autographs and meeting fans and whatnot. And then after that, there's going to be a special screening and a Q&A hosted by the Horror Squad podcast at Cinema Salem. So I really look forward to seeing you guys there, and don't miss it.
All right. So thank you, Omri, for that awesome message. I cannot wait for that event. Joe, are there any new details of that event? Probably sold out by the time this episode comes out, I would imagine. But
Maybe,
I know
maybe not. Yeah.
I've been getting this question a lot. The Silver Moon comics portion, so his signing from 1 to 5 does not need a ticket. It's just to show up, get in line, and get his autograph. The prices are posted on our social media, and you also have, I'm sure, a paper outside of Silver Moon showing what his prices are. I believe it's like, it depends what it is. Like, it depends if it's an 8x10, 11x17, personalization, photo op, all that stuff. So just check our social media and you'll see the whole price list there, but it is absolutely no ticket required for that. And also the Crypt is doing a really cool food thing with Hocus Pocus, and that is also not exclusive to the screening. So you can, even if you don't have tickets to the screening, you can still pick up that awesome food from the Crypt. Just pre-order by, I believe it's October like 13th or 15th. Check out their website for their details, and you'll be able to partake in the awesome food that the Crypt are making for the event.
Yes, and one last thing. If you can't make the signing at Silver Moon from 1 to 5, Omri is going to be signing after the screening, but only for ticket holders to the screening. So if you can't make it and you're going to be at the screening, or if you definitely want to get Omri's autograph, get a ticket to the screening, and you can get him after. He is, of course, going to be charging for that. I would say budget for $60. That's kind of like a autograph / photo op combo. So if you budget for that, you should be fine. He will have stuff on his table. I have also gotten that question. He's bringing like a ton of different prints and posters and stuff like that. But obviously, you can feel free to bring your own stuff and have him sign that as well.
Very cool.
Trivia.
All right. We are, Steven in the lead with 8 points. Myself behind him with 7. Joe behind me with 6. But it is any man's game. Who would like, I'm going to lead off. I'm going to get us started here. We're going to start off with a 4 clue. My first clue is dancing at the club. Sunscreen.
Oh, 1 second.
Oh, from Dusk Till Dawn?
Incorrect.
Lost Boys?
Incorrect. Now it's reset, so you both can guess again. All right, here comes the easy ones. Daywalker.
Blade?
Blade it is.
No,
Yep.
yeah.
So they got the blood club thing, got their sunscreen shit, and then Wesley Snipes was my fourth clue there.
Yeah, and that blood club thing right at the beginning with Confusion, the song that plays over it, is such a great fucking scene.
It's really good. He comes
so
in there
awesome.
just fucking shit up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One of the classic movies right there. All right, so I'll go next. In Jaws, what is the name of the ship that sunk during World War II and of which Quint is a survivor?
Indianapolis.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, boy.
I can't remember the name.
600 men
Alrighty.
went down with the ship.
All my questions tonight come from Kayla. I
Kayla.
didn't have time to get my own, so thank you, Kayla, for
This freaking
providing trivia
scrub.
this week for me. All right, so what horror movie is based on Clive Barker's short story, The Forbidden?
Hellraiser?
Forbidden. Is it Nightbreed?
It is not.
It's not the Midnight Meat Train, because that's Midnight Meat Train.
I'll give you guys one more guess each if you'd like.
What was it? Forbidden?
Yes, Clive Barker.
The movie? I'm not good with my Clive Barker. I have no clue.
I am not a good Clive Barker guy either.
All right, probably one of his biggest ones, Candyman.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Cool.
What was the book called for Hellraiser? Just do you remember?
Razor Hell.
God, the Hellbound Heart, I believe.
Okay,
Does that
yeah.
sound right? Yeah,
Something like that.
something like that.
All right.
I'm sure someone's yelling at the
You idiots.
Yeah.
radio right now. Yeah.
All right, here we go. 4 clues again. All right. Live scarecrows. Halloween night.
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Incorrect. The Office. Run Rabbit Run.
Oh, House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah.
Correct.
I knew, but I couldn't answer again. I was like, damn it. The Office was Rainn Wilson. So I was like,
Yeah.
So my question comes from Kayla.
Halo.
Wes Craven regrets the ending to which of his movie?
Could be any of them. I'm gonna say Nightmare on Elm Street, the original.
It's correct.
That's correct, because that scene with the door, probably.
Right. Wes
Yeah.
originally wanted the ending to be more ambiguous, but all else, he didn't want to show Freddy as being triumphant. He felt so strongly that he did not return to direct a sequel.
I mean, he did.
No, he the third. He didn't come back for 2.
Yeah, he didn't go back.
But then when money talks, then he came back.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, this could be a franchise? Oh, okay. I'll do it.
Then he didn't come back again until New Nightmare.
All right. Oh, boy.
I like.
Terrible.
Actually, we should revisit that. That might be like a birthday pick or something.
All right.
Okay. All right. Next one for me. In They Live, the aliens broadcast a subliminal signal into people's brains in order to camouflage themselves. From which cable TV station did they do this on?
Christ.
Cable TV station. CNN?
No.
NBC? Is it a real one?
No. I'll give you a hint. It's a number.
That's a number.
Never.
Yes.
I'm going to go
One through
Channel
100?
6.
1 through 100. Sure.
Channel 6.
All right. Here, I'll
Um,
give you even shorter. It's between 30 and 60.
God.
It's a
45.
Okay.
Okay. It's a fictitious network.
Apparently, yeah. I don't know.
Channel
Kayla sent this one in. So.
Channel 55.
Oh, you were so close, Todd. It is 54.
54. All right. Gotta brush up on my They Live TV knowledge.
Right.
Apparently, yeah, that's a tough one.
That's a deep cut.
Yep.
Last question, provided by Kayla. Stephen King has said that this book is the only one of his that has truly scared him.
Cujo.
Incorrect.
Pet Cemetery.
Correct.
I feel like we got that question like recently.
Maybe. Just fired back and got back in it.
All right. Okay. So still from Kayla. Match the opening line to the movie.
Okay.
Now, children, are you sitting comfortably? Then I'll begin. This story started many thousands of years ago, and it was all over in just 7 days.
I mean, I want to say The Ring, but I don't think it is.
No, not the Ring. I don't think she talks to children in the Ring.
7
No,
days. Must be like a God reference, right? I think. Grasping at straws here. Now, children, blah, blah, blah. Stigmata?
No. I'll give you guys a hint. And one last guess with that hint. It's a ghost movie.
Ghost. Hocus Pocus? Wait, that's a witch movie, dumb fuck.
I'll let you erase that one. I'll give you another shot.
Ghost movie.
It's almost like that Conan thing.
Almost. Ghost movie, 7 days.
I got nothing.
It's a mainstream, or is it popular? Is this obscure?
I mean, it was a theater release.
Theater release. God, dude. No clue.
Just throw one out there. Just
The Others.
boom. There you go.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
All right.
Yay.
It doesn't hurt to throw
I
it out
don't,
there.
I, have
so.
no, I don't remember that at all, though, man.
I mean, I remember her talking to her kids a lot, but I don't remember that story whatsoever.
I still want to rewatch that. I literally
Yeah.
haven't seen that since it was on tape.
That's one I like to review one day as well.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
Joe. Last one.
Okay. All right. 3 movie reviews
I love
for
these.
this movie
awesome.
based on Letterboxd. All right. All right. Number one. Now I totally understand why the PG-13 rating was invented after this movie came out.
Gremlins.
Correct.
Fucking Steve.
I just happened to know that piece of trivia.
All right. Is that it?
That's it.
Yes.
All right. It's a tight race. Steve leads it with 10. Joe and I both tied up at 9 apiece. Oof. I like that. I like that a lot. All right.
End
What
of
are we talking
days.
about tonight? End of day. Steve, this is your special pick.
It is.
Mr. Birthday Boy.
Yes. 40 years old now.
40?
Oh,
Wow.
I know.
I'm 5 years behind you.
I'm so old. Let me just pull it up here. End of Days, 1999, directed by Peter Hyams. So at the end of the century, Satan visits New York in search of a bride. It's up to an ex-cop who runs an elite security outfit to stop him. So this one stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, Gabriel Byrne, and Robin Tunney. So basically, it's approaching the millennium. The infamous Y2K is upon us. People are thinking that the world is going to end, but little do they know, the Vatican found out that the world is going to end. And they found that out about 20 years earlier when the Eye of God is seen in the sky, which is basically just a moon with like a little white line above it. So they know that the chosen one is going to be born on that day, but they don't know where or who the chosen one is going to be. But the devil people know exactly who it's going to be somehow, not explained as to why they know. But they steal the baby, and then they raise that baby, to be their own right up to 1999. And that's where the story takes off. We have Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's very depressed. His wife and daughter have been murdered, and he's looking to kill himself just out of the depression. But he hangs in there thanks to the help of his friend and coworker. And he's a personal security guard, and he stops a guy from being murdered in the morning. And that same guy that night gets possessed by Satan, and he starts to look for his bride so he can have sex with her and bring forth the son of the devil, and then start to open the gates to hell. And then you have Arnold Schwarzenegger, who's basically trying to stop it from happening. Just happens to coincide that he gets involved in this story. So he's the one that kind of takes the task up and tries to save the girl. So I hadn't watched this in, it's been at least 5 to 7 years since I've seen this last. So I'm curious, you guys, I know Joe actually said he hadn't watched it since the theaters. So Joe, what did you think of this movie?
Yeah, I was really excited for the revisit on this one. And I remembered liking it at the time, about 20 years ago when I watched it. And I think it still holds up quite well, actually. It was a nice little surprise for me. It's definitely like a more reserved Arnold in this one for the most part. I mean, there's definitely some times where, peak Arnold comes out, but I actually think he shows off some of his acting chops in this one, and I think he does a pretty damn good job. But my God, does Gabriel Byrne just absolutely steal the show in this movie? He is fucking phenomenal as the Satan character. Just like the way he walks, just his look. I just love that they put him in like the all black, just like the trench coat and stuff. He just looks badass, and he just plays it so well. Robin Tunney's there; she's fine, as the girl, But it's definitely Arnold versus Gabriel Byrne show for sure in this movie. I got 7 vibes from the look of this movie. It's like very dark, very gritty. And I really liked that style. I think New York City is a really good backdrop for it. And yeah, overall, like a really solid, fun ride. You definitely have to turn your brain off for sure. There's definitely some like very convenient plot points throughout the movie and whatnot. And there's definitely some like goofiness and shit like that. But I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been since VHS for me, rental. Man, this movie is pretty freaking good, and it doesn't hold back on some of the taboo stuff that comes up. We'll talk about a little bit later. There's some actually legit scary stuff. Albino guy looking at you. Great one-liners. I wrote down like 3 of them. Like one of them in the beginning is like, "Sky 2, get the fuck down here now!" I just thought it was so fucking funny. And you're a fucking quiet boy compared to me. That shit was good. And of course, stop being such a pussy when he shoots his friend. There's also though some like overwhelming goofy stuff at points in this that kind of takes it down a couple notches, plus some questionable things later. But overall, I think it's a really fun movie with a surprising large heart too. So great pick.
Yeah, so I said early in the show when you weren't there, Todd, but the reason I picked it was because Arnold Schwarzenegger is my favorite actor, not necessarily because this movie is so good. That's kind of my thinking behind it. And I was surprised at how well this movie held up. There are a lot of great things about it. I mean, first, it marries a lot of my favorite things. You got Arnold Schwarzenegger, you got action, you got an investigation film, you have religious, which I always love everything having to do with religion. So that was awesome. I love when they religiously explain what's going on in a movie, when they tap into religious history to explain why things happen like that. So you have the Beast's number is not actually 666, it's actually 999, but because you dream backwards and stuff like that. Just, it's obviously very convenient to the plot, but it's still fun to me to watch. I love, Arnold Schwarzenegger's film. It's not his usual just crazy, super action hero character that we've seen so much at this point. He does tone it down a little bit, like Joe said, and I actually like that. It fits for this movie. I don't think an over the top action hero would have been good for this particular film. And you're right that there are some scenes in this that are very emotional and very grounded, and some dialogue. One line of dialogue in particular, when the priest asks him why he doesn't believe in God anymore, and he says, it's because we had a difference of opinion. I thought my wife and daughter should live. He thought otherwise. I thought that's such a great, powerful line. That's, to me, a completely valid reason, to stop believing in something like that. And there's just a lot of really crazy scenes too. One scene in particular, I guess I completely wiped out of my memory, that shocked the fuck out of me when I saw it, is the mother-daughter demon scene, which they did not skimp out on showing at all. And I'm like, holy fuck, this is crazy for a film like this. You wouldn't expect that in an Arnold Schwarzenegger film. So just stuff like that, and a lot of nice little quips too, and a few good scares and good practical effects. But on the flip side, some pretty bad CGI when they use that, which will come to why I think the movie does fail a little bit. But overall, I enjoyed it. I had a fun time watching it.
So let's talk about that sex scene. And one, it's shocking, but it's even worse too, because I think they played the daughter as an underage girl, which, if that's the case, that was super fucking weird. So I mean, did you guys get that? I don't know. What age were they going for that? Because when she talked in the at dinner, she had the little kind of little girl voice, and he's like, "Is it your family?" Well, I mean, he doesn't speak like Arnold, but the devil's like, "Is it your family?"
I was gonna say
the next scene, he's banging him. Which, I have another note. The devil doesn't even fucking thrust. He's hanging there, fucking lame ass. But still, was that their intention? It was he was just laying there. She's whatever.
Sensual.
Okay. Little mini thrust.
I didn't. I kind of thought she was old enough, at least 18 or over type deal. But if she wasn't, I mean, that makes the scene even more.
Yeah, I got the underage vibes. I was like, oh, this yucky.
I mean, it was a really fucking cool scene though. First of all, it was disturbing and shocking because it was incest going on. But then and then when their bodies morph together, but it was perfect too, because it's fucking Satan, and it's all of the worst things that you can come up with and stuff like that. So it worked, and it was shocking, and I thought it was very, maybe not brave's the right word, but very risky. But I thought it was pulled off quite well.
It was Dad fucking Udo Kai or whatever, just jerking off in the corner. The next scene, he was cool. Thanks, Satan.
Well, it was a dream.
What? I thought it was real.
No, I took it as the dream sequence because the face goes to Robin Tooney's character, and she wakes up, and she said she was having a dream. So
I thought she was just linked to him while he's banging these people.
I mean, hey, it could have been real. It could have been based
because she kept having visions and stuff. Yeah.
Is there ever a movie Udo Kier's not a fucking villain? By the way, he's always a bad guy.
Is he bad in the Witches movie from Dario?
The Spear remake.
Yeah, no, he's in the original. I thought.
Is he in the original?
I think so.
Yeah,
I don't think he's bad in that.
Time since I've seen the original. Man, we should actually review the original. We should do a double feature, man. Because
That's a lot of movie to watch. Though. Double feature.
It is, but
Yeah, he wasn't bad in
maybe a
Blade.
compare contrast. Okay,
So,
yeah.
He's the head vampire, and then he just gets like murdered by Deacon Frost there, and
He was bad in Ace Ventura.
yeah.
Have either of you met him? He did a con and I like walked
Really?
by his table, but I didn't. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Just to get back to where you're saying though, I mean, I didn't see it as her being underage, but I can definitely see how you would think so. But it wouldn't be the first time in the movie that they kind of,
Ugh.
crossed that line, because
Yuck.
Robin Tunney's character says, he's been basically, like, she says something along the lines of, he's been fucking me since I'm a kid,
What the
now
fuck?
obviously it's in her dreams that she's talking about, but she's been saying that every night she dreams about him, having sex with her, and it's been happening her whole life.
Huh.
So it's like,
Alright.
I wrote the quote, in my dreams I've been making love to him my whole life.
Ugh.
So it's like she knew this was coming, that he would
Sick.
eventually, like, so they're kind of crossing that line already. Then, but to get away from that, there's also that scene where he just grabs that girl's tit
Yeah, he pops
at
the titty out
at the restaurant and like fondles her, and
That was
gives
a great scene.
as her
Yeah.
husband is like sitting there taking it.
Yeah. And he blows the place up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a
Yeah.
great intro too for
It
that
was,
character.
yeah.
I thought it was really cool.
What about the albino guy, man? He fucking imprinted on me. He's freaking freaky,
Definitely.
dude.
Mhm.
I mean, his death is a little wonky, but still, like, he's staring at her and shit. Like, ugh.
It
I
was,
like-
I thought it was really cool. Cool imagery. I dug it.
Yeah, I always think he was from Stigmata and not from End of Days. There's a character I thought that was similar in Stigmata, and the movies are very similar. They came in around the same year, and they both have Gabriel Byrne in it, so it's they kind of blend together a little bit. And there's even Stigmatas in this movie that you see, and so I always figured he was in there. But yeah, he's got a creepy look. I mean, it's too bad his death was so way too soon, I think.
Yeah.
But also B, so bad with the CGI,
Yeah.
like the way
He should have been a little
breaks
helper
apart.
guy for the devil.
Yeah, exactly.
A little
It's-
crony crawling
Yeah.
around, fucking
Yeah.
golem style.
But going back to Udo Kier's character, holy shit, his death, and a lot of the deaths in this movie are fucking
Yeah.
brutal. When he just, and it's out of nowhere, right? He just like punches him, and his fist goes right through his face, and it came out of complete nowhere. And like, holy shit, that's awesome.
Well, he punched that fucking train conductor to his stomach too.
Yeah, that was later. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
a lot of punching in this movie.
yeah. I mean, he doesn't use a weapon. He just needs he can just punch him out.
He can get shot though. Let's just leave that there though. He can get slowed down by bullets.
Mhm.
What about the priests? Were they wrong in trying to kill her and just that's an easy way out, right? Kill her and it's done.
did.
You can't do anything.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think
to prevent the
they're
end of time?
wrong. Like, yeah, man, the prevent, right? Yeah, you're preventing the end of the world. I think killing one person is like pretty practical, so I wasn't blaming it, but I did like the compare, like the the sort of compare contrast between the two different priests. The one who's like, you don't fix evil, you don't solve evil with evil, and then the other ones, I liked all of that stuff going on, and I really like that actor there.
You got Hector Salamanca in there too.
Yeah. The older priest, though, I can't remember. I can't place what else he was in. He was a judge in some movie I watched. I think it was The Hurricane or something like that, which completely random. But yeah, but I liked all that. I liked all that stuff. I really don't think this movie, even at 2 hours, I never really felt like this movie dragged either, which I think is a compliment to this movie and its runtime.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I love the religious stuff. I did think the Pope, he was really like phoning this one in, right? Like, wouldn't his job be to put all of his resources to not have the end of the world?
Just
but
like,
he spends 20 years in his chair absolutely doing nothing about
he's
it.
like,
Sends,
trust in
one
the
guy.
process.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So I thought that was interesting. Like, why show him at all? I loved the like under the church, kind of facility that they had going. With all the Stigmata people and the people who had visions, and they were on the ball. That group,
They were.
but the church group was not doing very very well throughout the film.
You know what they needed is the fucking badass exorcist from the Exorcist TV show, dude.
Oh yeah.
Come in here and beat Satan's ass.
Oh god,
Let's do it.
I love those guys in the Exorcist
Yeah.
TV show. They're awesome. And I have a weird religious question that I'm curious about. So one of the priests says, I've been sober 8 years. can a priest be sober? I didn't think they could. I thought part of being a priest is they absolutely have to drink wine, right? As part of every mass. So can they be sober? Can you have non-alcoholic wine? I don't know. I was very curious about that.
Yeah.
You can drink grape juice.
Yeah, I guess they could. I guess they could drink, like, I guess they don't have to drink it, right? Like, I mean,
I think they do as
I
part
don't
of their ritual. If it's a Catholic priest, at least. I don't know about other religions so much, but I was just curious as of that line, like,
right.
I don't know. Well, maybe that's different than being a drunk.
right. Yeah, because it's really a sip, right?
Because it's technically, and it's
blood
technically
of
not
Christ, right?
alcohol in that
Right,
moment.
yeah.
Yeah, he turned it from wine to blood. So
I like the religious stuff too, like in The Conjuring when the warrior using prayer as like a weapon. I really like that stuff, and I wish these guys would have backed up Arnold a little bit more. I really do like the beatdown that they give him towards the end, where they just beat the shit out of him in the street, and his betrayal from his friend. Who it was a really cool scene too, where he's like, "You agreed to a lot of stuff when you're fucking on fire." It was cool. But my favorite scene in this whole movie was when the devil comes to Arnold and is trying to convince him to join his side. He's like, "Hey, like," and he's talking like straight up, he's trying to manipulate him, but he's still having a conversation with him, and he's like, "Hey, like, God's the one that killed your family. That wasn't me. Like, I'll give him back. Like, just, like, I'm chill, like, hang out with me, blah, blah, blah." And that was good because he gives like a really good presentation, and their give and take is really good too. Gets a little iffy at the end when he throws him out the window, but everything else that's a fantastic scene.
yeah, I 100% agree. That is definitely the best, and it's the best acted scene between both actors too there. And it's like long, it's pretty lengthy too, and pretty talky, and it's always so really, really interesting. And like when he, man, like it really tugs on the heartstrings too, with Arnold seeing his wife and daughter alive, and then he's not liking the way it's going, so he's like, "Oh, it looks like you need a reminder of the harsh reality," and then he has to watch his wife and daughter die again. It's just brutal.
Or watch it, period, because he didn't see it the first time, right? So
yeah, true, yeah.
But one little detail that bothered me in that scene, so he rushes one of the assailants, that are going after his wife and his kid, and obviously the assailant's not there, so he goes kind of right through him. But why can he grab the Christmas tree that was also an illusion?
That's true.
The devil can be mysterious.
Apparently. I love that that explanation that the devil gives too, is that it's so convenient to be God. Every time something is good, it's God. Every time that it's something bad, God works in mysterious ways. It's like he never takes the blame for anything. So I really liked this speech. You're right, that scene was really brilliant, well paced, well written, well acted, really, really great scene, and something you wouldn't expect in a movie like this. And usually a scene like that would slow down the film because there's a lot of action scenes before and after that, but it doesn't. It just gives like more perspective to what exactly we're dealing with the Jericho character, and I thought it was actually at the perfect spot for it.
Agreed. It's great. What actor did he fart on allegedly? Was it the old lady that kicks the shit out of him?
Yeah, it's like the nurse who becomes the stepmom there. She beats
his ass in a scene, right?
Yeah, well, she
okay.
As much as she could. She throws stuff at him and stuff.
Yeah, here's my problem with that. Like, how is she so strong? Isn't she just a normal woman? Like,
she's got the devil juice, bro.
Yeah, the devil probably like gave her some kind of power, right? So
all right.
It was a funny scene, but that's who he farted on. That's hilarious. I would have been like telling everybody for 30 years that I fucking got farted on.
Seriously, she only like revealed this like recently.
Yeah.
I don't know what her beef with Arnold is all of a sudden, but
literal beef. She must smell the literal beef, I guess.
That motherfucker, dude. Protein farts are gonna mess with.
I also like how this movie is like a time capsule to like 1999 and like the turn of the millennium.
The Y2K. Oh my god.
How crazy were your guys' families during that?
Not like really crazy. Like, I mean, obviously like I was pretty young. I mean, I was like 12, 13 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So like I remember like it being like on the news all the time.
Big
and, like,
fucking deal, dude.
And I remember like the biggest panic was like the banks. It was like everyone's gonna lose their fucking money because like you can't like change. It's gonna go to 1900 and it's gonna like completely freeze the banks and fuck everything up. And then like it came and it was like, oh yeah, we figured it all out. It's fine.
Yeah, someone forgot to drop the one in the division, and then it was Y2K, and then it was 2012, and then we've had
Oh yeah.
It's normal shit since
It's
then.
been a
Well,
lull. Yeah. no one's
then the
predicting
world
it.
really went to shit. So
Yeah, we definitely. Yeah.
when we least expected that. But it was crazy because I remember my dad, he had to go to work on the night of December 31st, 99, because he was at the company to make sure that if something happened, he can somehow, with the other guys who had to go to work, like figure something out and how to fix it and shit. So people took it fucking seriously back then. It was a big thing, definitely a fun time.
Yeah, it was fun. Those end of the world scenarios were a lot more fun when you were a kid, and now it's like, oh god, like not fun anymore.
No, because now it's like too real.
Yeah.
When you watch something like Contagion, it's like, oh fuck.
Oh god.
Yeah. But going back to this movie, there's a lot of action scenes in this. I think the most ridiculous one is that helicopter one at the beginning.
It's so awful, dude. Ah! Who thought of this? That's when he says, Sky One, get the fuck down here now. And he has like the longest rope of all time. He's like going from a skyscraper to the ground. It's bad.
I love how he's like chasing. They had the helicopter like hang him as he's like chasing the guy.
Yeah.
It's just so bad. That was more of a regular Arnold thing. I think the ones after, I really loved the one on the like subway car. I thought that was a really cool action sequence, and a lot of blood in that one, a lot of guts, and I thought that was a good one. But no, that first one was it was bad.
Yeah, I agree. I think the train sequence is probably the best action sequence in this movie. I do like though the scene where I guess the bad priests come in and try to kill Robin Tooney for the first time, and I really I thought that was cool. I really like. I mean, I really like religious horror, so this definitely was a nice treat for sure.
Yeah, I love his line, between your faith and my Glock, I pick my Glock. Just good, great lines with Schwarzenegger. And the scene that I don't know which of you two referenced it, which I thought that was the funniest scene in the movie, is when he shoots his friend and he says, stop being such a pussy, it's just a scratch. Like the guy got fucking shot and he's not even like bitching that much about it, and he's still calling him pussy for it. Yeah.
I feel like that
was
actor's
great.
like sidekick in a lot of
In
things. I just
everything.
can't place him.
Yeah.
Like, what else has he been in? I'm sure if we looked him up. Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah,
he always
sure.
has that
He's
hat
done a
on
lot,
too.
man. Kevin Pollak. I'm trying to. He's definitely done some other horror stuff for sure. Now, let me see. I'm gonna
Nice.
IMDb his ass right now.
Kevin Pollak.
Yeah,
Usual Suspects,
Yeah, Usual
yeah.
Suspects for sure.
But I feel like he's that 153 credits. But I feel like he wears that same
Right.
outfit and everything, like that hat. The hat's jumping out at me. I'm not gonna look through 155 fucking credits. Never mind. What about Robin Tooney's, whatever, her haircut? I was like, ooh, when I first saw her, I'm like, that's not a good cut on her.
I like it actually.
Like
I thought she was
pixie?
cute. I thought she was cute. Yeah, I think I like that look on her.
All right, that was just me.
Yeah, you get a little boob action too there.
You do get a little side booby action.
Very quick. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk. Unless you have other stuff, I want to talk about that final scene. The
Okay.
So, what did you guys think of kind of the big battle
CGI
that they
thing?
have in the church? Were you happy with it, or you think maybe it could have been better?
I felt it was a bit underwhelming. Like, you're expecting this like huge battle between Arnold and the devil at the end. And I mean, you do get it, I guess, like throughout the whole movie and in the subway car and stuff. But, you get Arnold kind of like praying to God, give me the strength and stuff. So you're expecting kind of like this final epic battle. And it just doesn't come. Instead, it's basically Arnold like against a ghost. Like once it like goes into his body and like Arnold's like contorting his face in all these like goofy ass ways, and then like the actual reveal of the actual devil. He was okay looking. I think he could have been way more menacing looking and cooler. And I would have liked to have seen more with the devil kind of going through the church, kind of like trying to get Arnold, and Arnold kind of like running away from him, sort of kind of trying to dodge him and stuff like that. I thought that would have been cooler. But instead, like, it was like okay, but I think it could have been a lot better.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. And yeah, I mean, Arnold doesn't need to kill him. He just needs to prevent him from banging her at midnight, So I don't know.
Yeah, the whole movie sets up Arnold versus Gabriel Byrne. So to me, it was a bummer that we got rid of Gabriel Byrne before this scene. I think it does the movie a bit of a disservice to lose him. I think it should have been Gabriel Byrne right up to the very end, and then maybe he pops into like the giant devil for like, you know, a minute or so. But to not have Gabriel Byrne in that scene, just to me hurts that scene. I think it would have been much better had they done that. But I remember being shocked when I saw it in theaters in '99. Arnold Schwarzenegger does not die often in his movies. You know, very, very rarely does he die in his movie. I'm actually trying to think of one. Like off the top of my
Terminator 2,
yeah, but because he keeps coming back, it's tough to quantify, you know.
Terminator 1.
Yeah, but that's it. That's the thing, right? Like, there's no finality.
Terminator
with the
3.
Yeah, Terminator 3, Terminator Genesis. He dies in every Terminator. Even fucking Salvation, he dies in fucking like a million of them die. So it's yeah, but like for actual like character death or he's dead.
Jingle all the way.
Yeah, of course. Rest in peace.
Yeah, because the cops shoot his ass for the
Yeah.
bomb threat.
Yeah. Fucking Booster kills him. Yeah, I think I just expected more out of that scene. It was almost like a Mummy 2 situation where you want to see Brendan Fraser versus The Rock and you get a big CGI monster instead. So it was just disappointing to me, which is too bad.
Did you read the alternate ending for that?
No.
Oh boy. Well, would you like this better then? So he kills himself, but then he's resurrected and he walks out of the church with Robin. What do you
No.
think?
No.
I think it
No?
diminishes. It diminishes
Please, no.
the
I think they shot it too, if I was reading
yeah.
correctly.
I think I remember
That would've
seeing
been
it now that you mention it.
Oh boy.
Yeah. No, it diminishes like the power of that scene.
Yeah,
So
I totally agree.
yeah, you see this in a few films where people die
And they
to
come
kind of
back.
join, you know, kind of like Gladiator, and just to go back with their dead loved ones and stuff like that. So yeah, and I'm happy.
Yeah, it'd be like
that-
Gladiator waking back up after he beats
right, exactly.
fucking Joaquin Phoenix. I'm all right.
Yeah, exactly.
Steve, actually, I just went on IMDb. This is the first non-Terminator film in which Arnold dies.
Yeah, exactly. And there you go. You know, it was shocking at the time. So very powerful stuff from him with that scene.
So did you guys know that Tom Cruise is slated to be Arnold's
really?
character in this?
No
Yeah.
way. That could have been good. I mean, Tom Cruise is a good actor.
Tom
too,
Cruise is
so,
great. Yeah, but
so,
I see it. I mean, once you see something with Arnold, it's hard to not see it with Arnold.
exactly. Yeah.
I could see Cruise playing the devil.
Yeah.
He would have been a good devil. But I will say, completely off topic in a way, but watching this movie, I was like, man, Gabriel Byrne would have been an amazing Father Karras if they ever like
Yeah.
remade The Exorcist.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was who else was the devil around this time frame? Al Pacino, right? Devil's Advocate.
Yeah, Devil's Advocate.
Who was the devil in Stigmata? Because I don't know if I've ever seen that one, to be honest.
Well, we
They never
reviewed it on
really
the show,
is it-
but
Did we?
yeah, we
No,
reviewed it.
Did we?
Stigmata? Yeah, totally. We reviewed it on the show.
We did?
Yeah, we did.
No
Me and
way.
Joe were both absent.
No
it was just a
way.
solo show then.
Apparently, I did the show on my own.
No
I,
chance. What episode number? I don't.
I'll-
know.
I'll find it
fucking
while you
way
guys
did we
are.
review that.
I
no
don't
way.
remember us ever reviewing Stigmata.
I'm
It
telling
might
you.
have been like a vote that didn't win, but
I'm telling you, we
Stigmata my
reviewed it.
ass.
Okay. Well, I'll look it up while you guys talk. But
If
telling
we
you, we
did, I'm going back and listening to it because I don't have any recollection of reviewing it.
Oh, we did. It's
What?
oh yes, we did. We did because it's
Oh,
got
yeah?
Patricia Arquette,
that's right.
and remember they're like little punk people.
Yeah,
Yeah, what episode number was that?
it's a while ago.
Holy shit, that's mind blowing.
What did I didn't even rate it on
I
Letterboxd.
don't
this
remember
week.
what I. Yeah, I don't.
Steve gave it a
recall. I don't-
4. Joe, you're not on there.
Yeah, I don't think I ever reviewed. That was way before Letterbox for sure.
Yeah. Wow, we did.
Mind blowing.
I think it might have been my birthday pick that year.
Yeah, great movie. Great movie. I just remember it because of Patricia Arquette, and I think they have like a threesome in the movie, don't they?
No, do they?
No, that's this
No.
movie.
she
Oh.
like makes out with the priest. He's like testing his priesthood.
Yes.
Yeah, and like she's
Yeah,
like
you're
they
right.
like have I don't know if they have sex, but they definitely like make out. But man, I don't recall us reviewing that. That's wild.
That's right. Patrick Muldoon is her like friend's boyfriend.
Yeah,
From
I
Starship
remember
Troopers.
it being like I remember liking it, but I don't remember like on the rewatch of that episode. Well, there you go. Or now you guys can go back and listen to that one too. I
Alright.
guess.
Yeah, because we need to listen to it.
Right.
Apparently.
Did what year did that come out? Because that was like Gabriel Byrne in like
Same
two
year.
pretty similar
Same
movies,
fucking year. So
yeah,
that's the
wow,
thing, right?
that's
Is
crazy.
like
Yeah.
No, exactly. It's
Wow.
yeah, and one last thing I want to mention about this movie, I love the horror imagery in this movie. I loved when the priest is like pinned to the ceiling. I thought that was a really cool scene, and
It was cool.
also when Arnold Schwarzenegger is, crucified there, that's a fucking cool scene. You have the guy without eyes, and there's a lot of cool imagery in this, and I thought it did action well, it did horror well, so it was good.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, read it.
Well, Guillermo del Toro was offered to direct. That
Oh,
was
really?
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah, that's wild.
You're
There's some
still
really
looking at
interesting,
Stigmata, or
actually,
you're looking at End of Days?
No, this is for End of Days. Like, there's some really interesting. There's some really interesting trivia about this movie. Arnold found the movie to be too dark, like the lighting, like, and that was his biggest complaint about the movie. Apparently,
It's too dark. You can't see my muscles.
Udo
Yeah.
Udo Kier was originally
Ugh,
gonna
no
play the
thanks.
devil, but they didn't want the good guy and like the devil to both have like accents, so they like recast. So interesting. Yeah. So Liv Tyler was offered the role of Christine. Whole bunch of interesting stuff in here. All right, buddy. All right, let's rate it. I'll start us off. I had a really fun time with this one. I think it's like a really good movie, really solid. There's some goofy stuff for sure, but just kind of turn off your brain and enjoy it for what it is. I'll give it a 7.5.
Okay, I'm at a 3.5 out of 5 for the reasons Joe just stated. So yeah, it's about 7.5 or 7 in that range right there. Hasn't aged well visually and some stuff, but not a lot has from that era either. So you gotta forgive it. So yeah,
And I give it an 8 out of 10. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun watch. Absolutely love Arnold Schwarzenegger in this. Gabriel Byrne steals the show, and it was just a really cool movie. So I gave it. I think I gave it 4 stars. Maybe I gave it 3.5. I don't remember what I gave it on Letterboxd, but
gave it a 3.5. You cheat.
3.5. Yeah. Well, now that we discussed it and I'm thinking about it more, I think I'm raising it to a 4 star. So 8 out of 10.
Nice.
Cool.
Mhm.
All righty.
All
Well,
right.
I don't think we know what we're doing next week yet.
We definitely don't. But all I'll say is that we are getting in the season. So after this episode is when things start popping off. There's a lot of shit to review. Like the choices are gonna for a fast few weeks. I feel that we've been kind of looking for stuff, whereas now stuff is gonna land on our lap, and we're not gonna know what to review because there's 3-4 big horror movies all coming out at the same time, and we got Hocus Pocus coming out soon. We got Monsters. We got Terrifier. We got Halloween. Yeah, Halloween Ends. I'm sure there's other ones.
We gotta literally cover all those too.
Right, exactly. Yeah, they're all like musts, right?
Yeah.
And we got the Chucky TV series. I don't know if you guys are interested.
That's coming up.
A season 2. Yeah.
All right. Well, stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know what we're going to be reviewing next, but follow us on our Discord because that is the best way to keep up to date with us. Also, don't forget our event coming up. 2 events, actually. Our big one with Omri Katz on October 22nd with the whole squad. Also, the week prior, there's going to be a signing with our good friend Damien Maffei from The Strangers Prey at Night and Haunt. He will be signing at Silver Moon from 1 to 5. So hopefully you guys can make 1 or 2 or both of those events. But head to cinemasalem.com if you would like to attend the Omri Katz screening. And yeah, social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, just search the Horror Squad podcast and you will find us on there. If you'd like to support the show as well, you can buy merch. We are on TeePublic. Just search the Horror Squad podcast on there and you can find some shirts, cups, pillows, a whole bunch of good goodies. And yeah, that is it. We'll see you next week. Do your best Arnold impression. Someone to lead us out. Todd, I'm looking at you.
We all gotta do one. Sky One, get the fuck down here now.
Oh boy. I'm gonna go with what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
And I'll do tonight's movie. You're a fucking choir boy compared to me. A choir boy. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.